that recalls in the life of David perhaps one of his darker moments. These were highly stressful, dangerous days for this young David, because he was the object of this insane jealousy on the part of Saul. And Saul is determined that Jonathan, his son, will succeed him, and he sees David as the real threat to succession. So he bends all of his energies. He shouldn't be doing this. He should be trying to fight the Philistines, but he bends all of his energies to try to capture and kill David, remove this potential threat. You look at Saul. He began his career unassuming, no great ambitions, one of the least likely to become king of Israel. But now at this stage in his life, he won't let go. This power that he has, he is determined to keep it, and for his son and for his son's son. And so there's this mad pursuit of David out here in the desert. So we're at one of those moments in that cat and mouse game, a deadly cat and mouse game, in which David says at one point, "Truly, I'm just one step from death." Saul has spies. He has people on the lookout for David, and David has a group of men around him, so it's not as if he's all by himself, but it's hard to remain concealed for that length of time. And so when a spy informs Saul where David is while we're in hot pursuit, you may have remembered Dukes of Hazzard. I'm sorry, I get some of these images coming back here. In hot pursuit. Anyway. So here was one of those moments where Saul closes in on David. He's come here. There are not a lot of places out here where you can get water. You may have noticed this is a desert out here. So here is a close call. After Saul returned from pursuing the Philistines, he was told, "David is in the desert of Gedi." So Saul took 3,000 chosen men from all Israel and set out to look for David and his men near the crags of the wild goats. Oh, I wish we could have one on cue right now, pop his head up, but they are here and occasionally can be seen. He came to the sheep pens along the way. A cave was there. And Saul went in. I'll give you the cotton patch version. He had to take a potty break. David and his men were far back in the cave. The men said, "This is the very day the Lord spoke of when he said to you, 'I will give your enemy into your hands for you to deal with as you wish.'" Then David crept up unnoticed and cut off a corner of Saul's robe. Afterward, David was conscience-stricken for having cut off a corner of his robe. He said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing for my master, the Lord's anointed, or lift my hand against him, for he is the anointed of the Lord." With these words, David rebuked his men and did not allow them to attack Saul. And Saul left the cave and went his way. Now that takes a lot of moral, spiritual courage. He could have been done with this tormentor, this guy who doggedly pursues him without respite. And yet, he recognizes that the Lord had called Saul. He's still the Lord's anointed, and it is not his place to rise up and assassinate this man. How easy it would have been to just be done with him right there, and then go up and proclaim himself king. But he doesn't do it, and I think that's the measure of the man. That's the difference between Saul. Do you think if Saul had been in David's shoes, he would have hesitated? Not for a minute. That would have been it right there. So then we have this story, and because of our time restraints, I'm going to compress the story. David comes out and addresses Saul and tries to get him to realize that his life has been spared. David is not out there to usurp him. David would be a loyal servant. He would fight for Saul if Saul would allow it. But Saul's insane jealousy won't allow him to do that. So we have this fascinating interview shouted across the wadi, as it were. And Saul recognizes well, the error of his way, the stupidity of his way, and he asked forgiveness, but as you well know, Saul's jealousy will overwhelm him again later, and it will go back to this same old story. But he does say this, right at the end, "You have just now told me of the good you did to me. The Lord delivered me into your hands, but you did not kill me. When a man finds his enemy, does he let him get away unharmed? May the Lord reward you well for the way you treated me today. I know that you will surely be king." Wow. "I know that you will surely be king, and the kingdom of Israel will be established in your hands. Now swear to me by the Lord that you will not cut off my descendants or wipe out my name from my father's family." So David gave his oath to Saul. Then Saul returned home for a while. But David and his men went up to the stronghold. Probably Masada, which is our next stop. And when we get up there, you will understand that this truly is a kind of safe place, a fortress. Okay.
Larry.